And now this brings us to the most exciting section in all of sports entertainment podcasting. It is Room 101. I see eye rolls from the cast members. I am furious about that. Each week, a different member of the panel will bring with them one thing from the world of wrestling that they'd like to get rid of forever. They present it to the group. If it enters Room 101, it's gone. If not, we have to continue living with it. Now, this week, I am bringing the topic, and Crush is the man that I am up against, leaving our very own Will Brazier as the host. Will, are you okay to be in charge of timings as we are a man down? For our opening statements, we each get 60 seconds. And then for our counterpoints, we will get 45 seconds each. Will, I'm ready when you are.
3, 2, 1.
This week, what I would like to put into Room 101. Now, I would call myself a patient man. I give time for things to develop. But like John Cena said, time is up. So what I want to put into Room 101 is the AEW Women's Division booking. Because it has been a bit poo for a long time now. Now, for those of you who don't watch Dynamite every week, the AEW Women's Division falls into the same slot every week. They get one match just before the main event. It's usually about 8 to 10 minutes long, and quite often it is nothing more than competitive squash. For the first time in God knows how long, we finally saw the AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida on TV. It needs some real momentum behind it. It's just, there's nothing happening. There's nothing moving forward. The roster is so good. Hikaru Shida, Awesome Kong, Serena Deeb, Britt Baker. The list goes on and on and on, and we are getting nothing for it.
I mean, yeah. I don't know. I don't know what to say because I agree with your point. So it's going to be a tough one to stretch this one out to 60 seconds. Because, yeah.
Right, okay. No, because we're not a problems podcast. We're a solutions podcast. Mm-hmm. So what do you think that they could do better to improve the women's division's booking?
I mean, if you look at the way WWE are booking their women's division, it's kind of, yes, you'll have a few squash matches here and there, but they are building solid feuds in between all the men's stuff as well. So I think they probably need to put it on a similar platform to the John Moxley, Eddie Kingston stuff, to the Kenny Omega, Adam Page sort of rivalries, and build them rivalries because that's where they're going to draw the numbers. I don't know what their audience demographics are, but surely they want to try and target the female audience, because if they just focused on the men's, then when it comes to it, like, thinking from a business perspective, like, it doesn't make sense. Well, then you look at how many strong storylines there are in WWE, and they've got, like, look how many people aren't even wrestling at the moment. Like, Charlotte's not wrestling. We've not seen Ronda Rousey. Will she return? Obviously, Bayley's been pushed out the limelight for Carmella and Asuka recently for when Sasha Banks was beaten. So I think, like, they need to start building more strong storylines. Like, Tay Conti's obviously gone from WWE over to them. So she's got a really good background in jiu-jitsu or some sort of mixed martial arts. So there's an angle there. Nyla Rose is obviously very strong. She is very well presented. She could be built as, like, this huge personality. Like, for example, the way Nia Jax is almost presented within WWE, like destroying anyone and everyone. Like, they could even bring that fun storyline of putting someone through a table or doing someone for 9 weeks and try and get a payoff from that. They've got Brandy Rhodes, they've got Britt Baker, Awesome Kong, like you say, Ali. They've got Jade Cargill's just signed. They've got so many, but I do agree that they are underused.
So what I will quickly say and jump in, because I know we're probably going long here, but they've obviously put a lot of time into Hikaru Shida as champion, to the point where they even had her on the advert for the video game that's coming out. So they obviously have long-term plans for her to be like, this is the woman of the women's division. But we see her so rarely on TV that you kind of forget about the division entirely. Now, obviously, it's very different with John Moxley because he's so good on the microphone that you don't need him having matches every week. He can just talk, and that does it for you. And it may be that Hikaru Shida is not the best talker in the company, which is fine. But they've gone so heavy with managers in so many different spots in the men's division. I don't understand why they're not doing that with the women's division as well. I think if you were to give, and obviously Paul Heyman is an anomaly in himself because he's so good. If you were to give Hikaru Shida your best talking manager, whether that is Taz or it's whoever else you want it to be, it could even be one of the EVPs. If you aligned Cody with Kuroshida, that instantly elevates her, which will bring up the rest of the division. I just think they really need to decide who they're going to have as their tip of the spear and shine the biggest spotlight they can onto her and give her all that time. And that will pull everything else up with it, rather than just being, here's a 10-minute segment before the main event, go and have a good match in the camp.